Welcome to Rotaru Japan. So it's been 3 years since my last Q&A, and I guess a lot has changed since then. So today I thought I'd answer some questions that you may have about me and about Japan, while throwing in some stories and things about myself and what I've been up to recently. So let's get into it.
Before we get into the questions, I have to say a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Tokyo Treat and Sakurako. These are monthly snack boxes that have up to 20 different kinds of new and seasonal treats that fill any craving of Japan you may have. This month, Tokyo Treat Box is all things Halloween, which has a selection of exclusive and limited edition Japanese snacks. Meanwhile, Sakurako's box is based on Kyoto's magical autumn leaves and partners with local Japanese artisans and snack makers focusing on more traditional foods and drinks. But we'll get into what's in these boxes later on. Now, let's get into the questions.
Why are you no longer uploading Japan videos?
He moved.
How can you have a normal life while being friends with Chris?
I don't.
Why are you so mean to Chris? Because he deserves it. Okay, so enough of Chris. Let's get into the real questions. What would you do if you opened a gashapon capsule and 200 chihuahuas tumbled out of it? What the f***? You'd be all over the place. So I'm curious, what languages do you kind of speak aside from Japanese and English? And while we are at it, have you ever been to the Netherlands? I kind of speak Japanese, and I do kind of speak English, and I speak a bit of Spanish, hablo español, and I kind of little bit speak Italian, as it's close to Spanish, parlo italiano, and I kind of speak German. Ich spreche Deutsch ein bisschen, because I've lived in Germany. How long would you recommend staying if someone is visiting Japan for the first time? I would say 2 weeks maybe. And the first week you can visit those typical kind of like famous touristy places such as like Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima, and those. But the second week, if I were you, I would try some like regional places that like not many foreigners go to. That's where real Japan is, you know. Like, you know, Sendai where I live, for instance, the Hokkaido maybe, but not Niseko because there's just too many foreigners. And unless if you're like really into skiing, or Kyushu, Shikoku Island, those places. I mean, you know, just go to countryside and meet the locals and talk to them, and then you might scare them off. But anyway, just go to hello, konnichiwa, and like you just become friends and just have fun. That's the way you should do for the second week. First part, first week, touristy places. Second week, be local, be friends with the locals, just have fun with them. Would you think about living abroad again? And if so, which country? If I have chance to live back somewhere I have lived before, I would love to go back to Australia, my last country. Because I just lived there for 1 year, and I thought that wasn't enough. So I want to live a bit longer this time, 2, 3, 4 years, and then just brush up my English with the Aussie accent.
What is the best adventure we ever went on? Climbing Mount Gasa with Chris Broad, who came in a pair of Nike trainer with a hole.
Where do you think the most underrated place in Japan to visit is? And where do you think the most overrated place in Japan to visit is? Good question. Okay, starting from underrated. I think Okinawa, people don't really visit Okinawa, and unless you're like, say, you've been to Japan for like 10 times. But I'm not really saying it's underrated, but people don't visit Okinawa that much. People go to like those southern islands, especially the not the main island, but remote, small islands. Because Okinawa used to be a country, used to be a kingdom, they've got its own very unique culture, and also cuisine as well that I enjoy a lot. So when you have chance, just visit Okinawa and go to those remote islands, and the experience, the culture that is quite different to the culture, Japanese culture that you actually experience in the mainland. Overrated place, I'm not sure, but Niseko is good, but it's just that there's just too many people now, too expensive. Maybe I've been there, I love it, I love the place, but it's just kind of becoming too touristy. So if you're looking for like a real snow resort that like you can actually ski like while no one's skiing around you, and there are many other places that to visit. But like around my place, where now I live in, like near Sendai, Zao is a place where actually snow amongst those snow monsters, the trees with like ice snow. That's very something that I want you to try. What is your favorite food of all time? Mac and cheese. No, just joking. One time, my friend asked me what would be my last supper, and I remember saying that was tonkatsu, the deep fried cutlet with like miso soup with like cabbage salad and like the rice on the side. That is my kind of the food that's like I just always love. When can I challenge you for a next battle? I will never go down as the man who lost to you. Junk Food Japan is ready for another challenge. With Nick, we just had a battle over wanko soba. It's just a noodle in a small bowl, and you need to compete how many like bowls that you can eat. And I did that with Chris as well, and I won against him, and I won against Nick as well this time, and so he wants to challenge me again. But last time I did that with Nick. We did it in Tokyo, and we competed on like how many which can eat 100 bowls first, and I did it. So now he wants to challenge me again, and this time I want to challenge him. He has to challenge me rather. In the real wanko soba restaurant, we had a battle with Chris, and the Azumaya is in Morioka Prefecture. Morioka City, and that'll be my next challenge with him. Was that you in the episode of You wa Nanishi Nihon about Tokusatsu explosion experience tourism in Tochigi Prefecture? And if so, could you tell me more about it? Very good question. Okay, yes, it was me. I am actually holding these events once in every 2 months or so in Tochigi Prefecture, in where Nikko is. It's the Tokusatsu Explosion Tour, we call it. It's explosion tour. It's really hard to explain what it is. It's just a real explosion, napalm, gasoline burning explosion happening right behind it. That's what it is. The place we hold explosion, the event, is that it's actually the place where they do the location. It's the location for the Tokusatsu hero exploding in the back. Kamen Riders and Power Rangers, when they do the explosion, because you can't really do the explosion anywhere in the town, right? You need to be some remote that no one's there, and then that is the place, that's the location they actually do it. So we hold that event to do the explosion. I think 10 groups can participate at once. And then when you take a photo or video, it just you with the explosion in the back, as if you're being the Tokusatsu hero. And if you like it, if you feel like becoming a hero, just search for it. Iwafune Explosion Tour, and I'll meet you there.
So it's time to get stuck into some of Tokyo Treat and Sakurako's snacks. In Sakurako's box, you can find these white chocolate bananas, these assorted rice crackers, this uji matcha cream cake, which was my personal favorite, and this momiji or maple leaf cookie. You can wash all these down with some hojicha or roasted green tea. You can also get a piece of tableware, and this month was this vibrant flower dish. In Tokyo Treats box, you will find these sweet potato Kit Kats and these teeny tiny monster chocolates, and of course, many more sweets and treats. Each box comes with a booklet explaining all about Japanese culture and sweets and any allergen information as well. If you're interested in getting one or both of these boxes, click the link in the description box down below and use code RYOTARO to get $5 off your first box.
Where in Japan is your favorite place to escape for break? When I'm kind of exhausted from my work or whatever, I always escape to Kochi Prefecture. That's my favorite prefecture. One of the favorite prefectures out of all 47 prefectures we have in Japan. There is a kind of guest house, slash hotel, the old hotel called Kaiyu, And the owner is like very friendly and kind of like it's a really relaxing environment right in front of the Pacific Ocean. If you go there until say October, you can swim. I'll put the link of Kaiyu in the description box below, so just check it out and see what you feel. And there are many like international tourists. It's very remote anyway. It's very remote, so it takes about like 3.5 hours from Kochi airport. So just be warned that it's very remote, but you won't regret it. It's very nice. Which natural hot spring ryokan do you recommend in Japan? So it's not really a ryokan that I would like to recommend here. Today I'd like to recommend you a tool called Extreme Onsen Tour. Just search for it, Extreme Onsen Tour. In this tour, you will be guided by a professional guide going into the mountains and try to find these natural hot springs that you can take off your clothes and jump into it. And just, middle of nowhere. It's not in ryokan, it's just in the nature. It's pretty amazing. So just search for the word like Extreme Onsen and then you will find the details of the tour. And I find it very extreme and fun. So yeah, it's just, if you're interested in it, join it. Can you do a backflip? No. If you wanted to learn another language, which one would you choose? What's the first sentence you'd say in that language? Chinese. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? If you could bring something that Japan does really well to another country, what would be and where? Also, if there is something that another country does really well that would benefit Japan, for what would be and where from? Tachigui soba. The standing soba, or like standing anything. For those of you who come to Japan, like you might have experienced, you've seen, we got so many restaurants that you can eat standing. Not only soba, but udon, the ramen, yakitori, even steaks. Those standing food culture, especially the Japanese ones, might do well in other countries, and tachigui, the standing soba, is one thing I want to do if I were you. So another country does really well and would benefit Japan. What is it? I'm not really sure. There's just so many, but better kebab. What's your favorite video that you've made or been a part with? That's really difficult to choose. But if I have to choose one video, that would be, I guess, what happened after the tsunami abroad in Japan. In that video, I was not in front of the camera, but instead I was filming as a cameraman. Because we decided that it would be very strange, me and Chris, giggling in front of the camera in those devastated places of Miyagi, and I thought it would be just him just telling what was happening after 8 years. And I just simply love the video because like the people who appear in the video, like the locals, were very, positive. And I just that video made me so happy that just feeling that energy, and I'm so proud of taking a part of the video. What is my career? Well, after graduating university in Britain, having my English properly corrected to the proper one, I moved to Germany, got my first job at the IT company for 2 years. I worked there in Düsseldorf, the city called Düsseldorf. That's why I speak German and Deutsch. Then I moved to Australia, Sydney, in a way I spent like a year, again as an IT engineer. Then I came back to Japan. I got myself again as an IT engineer position at Barclays, the bank. And after that, I got myself another job to the securities company called Dresdner. It's I don't know, it's a German company or British company. Anyways, then I came back to Sendai and I started my own company trying to promote the remote, not the remote, but it's a regional part of Japan, not Tokyo, not Osaka, not Kyoto, because people go there, people know these places. So I'm now traveling all over Japan, trying to find the places that people might interested, people might not have visited yet, but yet have very interesting things to be told to the world. For you, what is the most difficult thing when you're living in Japan compared to living in other countries you ever lived in? So it's not anything difficult, but it's more like something that I don't like or I just rather hate, is that those packed trains in rush hour in Tokyo. And that's definitely one of the reasons I, moved back to Sendai. So I just cannot believe if there's anyone moving out of the countryside and decide to live in Tokyo. And you know who I'm talking about. If you weren't based in Sendai, which city would you like to live in? Fukuoka. Definitely Fukuoka. And Fukuoka is the place that I don't know, I've got many friends there, and it's a happening city. It's very international. Last time I went there was like a few months ago, and I saw many tourists. Not only the tourists, but I saw many international faces living in Fukuoka as well. And I don't know, it's just the energy I felt in Fukuoka is very nice. If there's a second best, Osaka will come in second because I've never lived in Kansai, and I just love their accent or the dialect. The Osaka band, even thank you is different. Okini, it's not arigato at all. And I just feel the energy as well in Osaka, and very friendly too. So those are the two cities I would live if I have to move out of Sendai for some reason and go somewhere. Never Tokyo. No packed trains. Have you been these years as a YouTuber? Is there any kind of content that you want to do for the channel, but for any reason think you're not ready yet? Good question. Yes, I don't know if you guys remember the video called Japanese election. Those kind of content is something that I wanna go for. The things that only Japanese people know or get involved. Because that's something that people will be interested, and that's something that maybe I only can do maybe. So I wanna go to those kind of like documentaries. That's something that I wanna do. I remember this question answered by Chris in one of his videos, but I will try to return this to you. If you'll be stuck in a deserted island, who will you choose? Natsuki or Chris, and why? That's a good question. I think I would choose Chris because if we get stuck with Natsuki, chances are that he will only have cigarettes with him, whereas Chris probably bring his famichiki in his bag or somewhere, like hiding. So I just kind of snatch it and then just eat it. So I think I can survive longer with Chris than Natsuki. That's why I'm choosing Chris over Natsuki.
When will we get to see a rematch of your epic duel with Natsuki?
Actually, that was such fun battle that we had in Ishigaki Island in Journey Across Japan. That was it took us about 3 hours to just film that scene. Can you believe that? Chris was almost dead because he was just I think it was just after he injured his ear. But he survived, and then we survived those 3 hours, and we ended up making such a nice scene with the toy sword and everything. I'd love to do that again. I haven't seen him for a while, so I think it's time to do the meetup. And last but not least, how do you see the future of yourself, your channel, and Japan? Let's say about 10 to 20 years. Me in 10 years, I'm older. 10 years in Japan, hoping the yen to become stronger a bit against dollars so that I can travel around the world. Now I'm stuck in myself in Japan, I don't feel like going to the States at least. It's just too expensive right there. Anyway, in 10 years, I'd love to not only grow my channel, but I want to, not even 10 years, in 1 year, 2 year, 2, 3 years, that I'd like to travel to the States, to Australia, to the places where viewers are, and meet you guys and do the meetups and have fun. And I like to talk to them, and I want to know why you're watching my channel. Well, obviously Chris's channel, Natsuki's the Instagram, whatever. Why are you guys interested in me? So I would really want to do the real Q&A session with you guys face to face. So that's all for this Q&A. Thank you everyone who sent in their questions. If this goes down really well, and I'd love to do this again in the future, and hopefully you won't have to wait for 3 years this time. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in next video.